I'll give you a little quote. This is one of my favorite movies. So if your marketing strategy right now, if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, we're very, very product heavy, and all of your email blasts and your social announcements are really just about product, there's this scene from the movie Into Darkness, the Star Trek movie, and Captain Kirk says to Scotty, played by Simon Pegg there, he says, so Scotty, you got to get us through that black hole, warp factor 10, and you got to do it in the nanosecond when I click my fingers. And Scotty turns to Captain Kirk, he says, well, Captain, that's a bit like jumping out of a moving car off of a bridge into a shot glass. Yeah. My apologies to David Kirk for the Scottish accent. So the point is what are the chances of you putting out that brand new component in an e-blast and hoping that somebody in your audience of existing or future customers needs that product right there and then and is going to react to it, and it's going to lead to a conversation? It's a very slim chance. You still need to do it because you need the awareness of the products, but don't expect that to be the driving force for lead generation. The driving force for lead generation needs to be a conversation around your customers' problems. This study came out to reinforce this point at the beginning of 2019, January 2019. Demand Gen puts out a report every year. They study all B2B markets. And they made an interesting change. In 2018, they said the most important part of the buyer's journey, remember the buyer's journey that Tony Uphoff was talking about yesterday? They said prior to 2019, this is the most important time for the salespeople to engage with the customer is that final 3 months when the spec's written, the blueprints are done, the RFQs go out, and that's when you've really got to be engaged. And I think that's still very true. But the interesting change they made in the study this year was this, is that they're really focused on that first 3 months, the problem-solving period. That's the time they're saying, the buyer's journey is so complex now for your customers, trying to navigate all the people in the organization is virtually impossible. But if you can connect with those people in the first 3 months of a design project, your chances of being dragged through the buyer's journey increase significantly. And as you can see there, 38% of companies actually developed an informal list of people who are going to put on the RFQ in the first 3 months. And how do you get into that? Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But a big play in getting into that first 3 months of a design project is content. And demonstrating to your customers that you have a problem-solving mentality, you have a problem-solving culture. You want to be a part of that problem-solving discussion at the very beginning. I looked at some other companies, some other industries rather, because I'm thinking, well, doesn't everybody promote their products? You have to. It's true. But is it the first thing that they talk about? So I looked at Merck. They're in my backyard in northwestern Philadelphia. In the pharmaceutical business. So I took a look at their homepage. You can see from the 6 dots there that there were 6 pictures in that gallery. Not one of them talked about product. Remember, the homepage is usually the first place that people go to. Okay? Everything in their homepage talks about problems, social problems. They're in the people business of pharmaceuticals. SAP, they're totally in the business of solving problems. There's nothing on their homepage that talks about the latest SAP product. They're in the business of helping their customers solve their customers' problems. In our own industry, I picked a couple at random that I found. TE has this very nice project going right now called R-Flight, or they're working with the R-Loop organization on a project called R-Flight, I should say. I'm not going to play the video. You can go check it out, The Future of Human Mobility. They're looking at the personal air taxi market. Interesting. So you can see they've got products mentioned here at the bottom of the screen, but when you go to the TE homepage, this is what you get. They're putting the message out to this human mobility market, whether it's automated cars, whatever, is that they want to be a part of the problem-solving part of the equation. Same with Honeywell. They've got these really interesting, I'd encourage you to go read this, just Google it, The Future of 9 Industries. They have industrial safety, factory automation, personal human air flight for them as well. I don't remember the other 6, but the message they're putting across here is, let us be a part of the problem solving that you're going through. You don't see a whole lot of product on the homepage. Okay? Interestingly, we did a study of about 15 companies in our industry, okay? And we analyzed for the last 30 days, what did they do on social media, what did they do on email, and what did they do on their web pages? Now, before any of you from those companies get nervous, I'm not going to pick on anybody. We averaged all of the data. So before I show you the next slide, just remember it's an average. So within the results, there's good and there's bad, let's put it that way. So here's what we did. We followed all of those companies for 30 days on LinkedIn. We signed up for their email newsletters and we visited their home pages. I'll talk about trade shows separately. So of the LinkedIn posts, those 15 companies put out 838 posts in the last 30 days. And then we categorized the results between product, so like an NPI announcement, PR, which includes, could be trade shows, could be the CEO got an award, could be employee activity, could be local community, that's PR. And anything that was focused on the customer, we classified as content. Everybody got it? And these were the results, okay? So please keep in mind, within those results, even though you can see that content comes up at the bottom of the list in every case, it's a statistical average. There are some companies in our industry that clearly have got this figured out. Their message is, we're a problem-solving culture. We want to be a part of your problems. We want to help solve them. There are other companies statistically within those results who really have not yet started, let's put it that way, talking about their customers' problems. They're focused pretty much solely on their own products. So just be cautious when you look at the statistics. Emails, same result. Home pages, again, we just analyze the home page. What's the message? Just like when we looked at TE and Honeywell and Merck and SAP, what's the first thing you see when you get to the home page? Is there evidence there that they're saying, hey, we know what problems you're working on, Mr. Customer. Let us be a part of it. That's what we were looking for. So we categorized them the same way. Trade shows, those 15 companies were not part of the trade show analysis. This is simply what I put together when I was asked to do this presentation 6 months ago. I started making a note, and I carry a journal of what do I see when I go to a trade show? Do I walk up to a booth and it's pure product, or is there something else there? And I noticed in about 10% of cases that some companies are putting on seminars, even little companies that had a 10 by 10 booth. I saw one at IMS in Boston in May, which particularly interested me. It was a small company, I forget the name, but they had some nice video screens, and they had a schedule posted on a whiteboard of all of the little 5-minute educational videos they were going to show that day. And I passed the booth a few times, okay, and they always had a small crowd of 4 or 5 people stop to watch these little educational videos. So it's not just the big brands in the room that can afford to do those big seminars at conferences. This is something that smaller and mid-sized companies can do as well.